The morning they bulldozed my great-grandfather's bridge, I didn't just feel angry, I felt warrior calm. The kind of calm that comes right before a storm. That bridge wasn't just stone and mortar. It was blood. It was sweat. It was legacy. And when they tore it down without notice, I knew exactly what I had to do. Drain the lake. Not just any lake, the one their $4 million resort depended on, like lungs need air. It started like any quiet Tuesday. 6 a.m., Lake Norwood still cloaked in fog, ghostly quiet. I stood at the edge of my dock, sipping bitter black coffee, listening to the haunting call of loons. When I heard it, a low growl, deep and mechanical, rising from the mist like a beast waking up. Diesel engines. Then I saw it, a yellow bulldozer, cutting through the fog like a monster out of a war movie, rolling straight toward the old bridge, 2 trucks behind it, men in hard hats, radios buzzing, marching forward like they owned the place. I sprinted, I screamed, but it didn't matter. They had paperwork, they had orders, they had her, Barbara Langston, HOA president of Oak Ridge Shores, arms crossed, fake pearls, white heels in the mud, smug little smile like this was some kind of victory parade. "You can't do this," I shouted. She didn't even flinch. "We already did." Barbara wasn't from around here. She blew in from Scottsdale 2 years ago, bought a gaudy lakefront mansion, and bulldozed her way onto the HOA board within months. The kind of person who fined kids for sidewalk chalk, who wrote up a 94-year-old vet for having too many flags. But she didn't know what she was messing with. None of them did. You see, this bridge, my great-grandfather Walter Dean built it in 1924. Limestone, hand-carved, arched stone that connected our cabin to the rest of the world before Oak Ridge Shores even existed. And hidden away in a fireproof box in our attic, the original deed, maps, blueprints, and one more thing, a 1923 water rights agreement, signed and sealed by the county. It granted Walter Dean and his heirs perpetual flow authority over Lake Norwood. Let me make it real clear. They didn't just bulldoze a bridge, they bulldozed the key to their survival. That bridge sat above a secondary spillway, part of a bypass channel system my great-grandfather engineered himself. That spillway still worked, and legally, I controlled it. At first I was rage blind. 2 days, no sleep, pacing like a wolf. Then I got smart. I dug through every record, called my old professor from Texas A&M, a specialist in historic water law, sent the documents to my cousin's wife, who works for the State Water Authority, brought in a surveyor, and guess what? That spillway, fully operational, legally mine. Meanwhile, Barbara got busy. She fined me for excessive vegetation on my fence line, said my mailbox wasn't up to HOA color codes, filed violations for my fishing net. Then she really showed her. She sent private security to my property, her brother-in-law's company, guys in mirrored sunglasses and boots, photographing my gutters like I was a suspect. So I started documenting everything, every fine, every visit, every name. Then I filed a formal complaint. And while I was at it, I requested the HOA's financial records. They're public after all. That's when things got juicy. $8,000 to Langston Consulting, $5,500 to Norwood Maintenance Solutions, run by her nephew, unapproved payments, no bid contracts, and one curious $30,000 deposit to her husband's shell company. She didn't just break the rules, she was profiting off them. But I wasn't ready to strike. Not yet. Not until I found the kill switch. It came in the form of a single sentence buried in the environmental impact report for their shiny new resort. If water levels drop more than 18 inches below full pool for longer than 72 hours, the loan may be called in full. Boom, pressure point, found. So I showed up at the next HOA board meeting, banker's box in hand, evidence, blueprints, deed, water rights. I didn't yell, I didn't argue. I simply said, "I'm draining the lake, unless you fix what you destroyed." "Barbara," she laughed. "Go ahead, you're bluffing." I stared her dead in the eye. "No, I'm maintaining my property, and if that maintenance happens to leave your resort high and dry, that's not my concern." The board rejected my claim, Barbara gloated, and I walked out in silence. That night under a crescent moon, I walked to the spillway, unlocked the steel panel, and turned the valve. 3 full turns. Slow, steady, irreversible. By sunrise, the lake had dropped 11 inches. Tourists woke up to boats beached on mud, paddleboards stuck in sludge. Photos of dead fish and sunken docks hit social media by noon. By day 3, the bank pulled out. Barbara called an emergency HOA meeting, screaming match. Half the room demanded her resignation. The other half blamed me for environmental terrorism. Then the sheriff showed up. Said someone claimed I was sabotaging public infrastructure. I handed him my great-grandfather's paperwork. He read it twice, looked at me and said, "This is above my pay grade." Barbara? She went nuclear. Local news, radio interviews, told everyone I was a dangerous extremist, that I was endangering children, that I single-handedly destroyed property values. But the deeper people dug, the worse it got for her. Unapproved permits, fake bids, her guest house built 4 feet into protected wetlands. 2 weeks later, the county issued a restraining order. Misuse of funds, permit fraud, abuse of authority. Barbara Langston skipped town the next morning. No goodbye, no statement, just gone. A month later, the new HOA president, Mrs. Nora Caldwell, a widow who'd lived here since 1967, asked me to help draft new bylaws. Ones that respected history, that protected legacy. We rebuilt the bridge, named it Walters Crossing. 3 months later, it was officially designated a historic landmark. The resort reopened under new ownership. They came to me, negotiated. I agreed to maintain water levels in exchange for permanent preservation easements. We even launched a scholarship in my great-grandfather's name for civil engineering students specializing in sustainable water systems. And now, every July we host Bridge Day, live music, catfish fry, kids diving off the very dock Barbara once tried to find me for. And sometimes I just stand there, hand on the stone railing, listening to the soft rush of water, steady and sure. Because water doesn't care about HOA bylaws or power-hungry presidents. It flows where it's meant to flow, and it never forgets who built the dam. So tell me, what would you do if someone bulldozed your family's legacy? Would you walk away or fight back? Drop your story in the comments. And if you're dealing with your own HOA nightmare, stick around. Next time, I'll tell you about the rancher who used mineral rights to stop a billionaire from paving over her land. It gets wild.